Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour. Welcome back to the World Series 2021, another round one, another best of 9, and we've got two decent players here. We've got Moliere up in the north, at least that's how I think you pronounce it, with the Gilet Demolition in the blue. Then down the south, we've got MrX with the China Nuke in the yellow. We're on Tournament Desert by the looks of things. Imagine it's the Tournament Desert. No bugs, no cars, very standard and original Zero Hour. And yeah, nice matchup. We've got Nuke against Demolition, which I think can be won both ways. Very, very interesting matchup, that is for sure. MrX, a very old player, a German player. I think he's been playing probably for longer than I've been around. I remember when I actually first started trying to play 2v2 properly, him and DK Crazy were basically unstoppable and like super, super hard for me to try and take down. So yeah, he's been playing for a while. Truck rush there fails to kill the worker, and I think that a little bit more damage could have been done to them trucks with the RPGs, but the RPGs do bail and go inside of the tunnel. MrX is going to lose a truck here. Oh, he's not going to force fire. Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't force fire there. I think he's probably distracted over here. Has dropped down a demo trap, but the problem is there, you've built the demo trap in the line of the workers, and it didn't look like he was going to move the workers, so the workers would have all died if it had gone in there. But MrX is also not paying attention, and therefore all these workers are going to survive, at least for now. So yeah, not the highest level play there, because both players were not paying attention for a while. Still a load of workers went down. The correct decision would be to just pull all his workers, and that truck wouldn't have achieved anything. But he's probably distracted here, Moliere. Yeah, I don't know too much about Moliere. I think I've seen him do quite well in some team games and stuff as of recent, but I'm not sure he's as old as a player as MrX. In fact, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, maybe he's changed his name or something. I don't know over the years. We've got a tech RPG now, no technical veterancy, which I find a little bit weird. I think he's opted for Marauders, yeah, because I'm sure I saw a Marauder. But over here, straight away, a load of workers are going to go down. I think this build order that MrX has gone for here is higher risk, higher reward, because if you break through the middle, close down that tunnel and start harassing over here and killing the workers, you're off to a really good start. There is a Marauder there. It's going to get any scrap? No, I don't think so. Tech RPG there does get picked off, and one Battle Master goes down so far. One Doze has also gone down, but all the RPGs there do get cleared up. There's a worker here that just needs killing, but otherwise MrX is physically on 3 supplies, but he doesn't have actually the trucks in play now. Also, yeah, a lot of units just standing around for MrX, like that truck we saw before. This one here, okay, you've just killed the worker, but now it needs to put him back. It's quite important to get your economy rolling. Barracks being built. It's going to probably make us a couple of RPGs go inside of these buildings, and then traditionally, then the Nuke player can either drop down a second war factory or can do an airfield somewhere back here and load up a helix. Actually doing an airfield there right by the front. That's all well and good. You're going to block a technical probably from getting in. I mean, maybe it could get through there. But you are going to reveal that you're going for an airfield. Maybe he wants to do it on purpose. Make him switch into quads or something like that. Maybe it's one little mind game you could do. And it looks like we can get a double scrap Marauder. As you know, that's very, very powerful. Actually, if that gets vetted to vet 3, I'm sure it can 1v1 even a vet 3. A vet 3 Overlord even. Absolutely crazy damage that puts out. Vet 3 Flamer here, that supply has now gone down, so really it's just these things that are a bit of a threat. The GLA main base here is going to go down. I think this is going to be 1-0 from MrX. Nice try here from Moliere. A little bit underwhelmed. I'm just not sure about this Marauder strat. I generally say, I mean, Marauders can work. I would say, especially if you're working your way up the ranks and just learning to play GLA. Not that Moliere is learning to play. He might be super, super good with GLA in general. But I would say in general, stay away from Marauders because they require a general's promotion. They're slow to build. They're expensive. Which means, because they're slow to build, when you're actually trying to build other stuff, you actually can't because they're occupying a build slot. So yeah, generally you can only get a few of them out. And yeah, and just generally, unless you really know what you're doing, Marauder's not that good of a strat, and as you can see here, it's a straight win. But I don't think the Marauders is the reason for the loss there. The reason for the loss is MrX's higher risk, higher reward build, which is he's gone for the truck rush down the middle. It could have even gone better for him, really, if it had stopped that worker. It actually went okay because MrX screwed up hitting the worker. And then MrX wasn't 100% on point because he didn't move his truck into the supply line. So, yeah, maybe a little bit cold start. Not 100% impressed with the level so far, but like I said, MrX is a really old player, and I know his level can be good. It can be better than that, but he gets the win anyway. I don't know why I'm complaining. So, yeah, 1-0 is the score. Okay, jumping into game number 2. We've got Moliere now down in the south with the China Nuke with the blue. Are we going to see a Nuke win again? Let's see. We've got MrX with the GLA Demolition in the yellow up in the north. So yeah, the problem for GLA Demolition is if the Nuke does get on the 2 war factories and start spamming out loads of Battle Masters, because you're only on like the 1 arms dealer, especially in the beginning as a GLA, sometimes your tunnels can get overwhelmed. Looks like Moliere is going for the same build, straight down the middle. MrX also doing a tunnel in the middle, but also on this left-hand side. I don't know what it is about this left-hand side. Both players feel like they need to copy each other or something. But he has his barracks right there. I wonder if MrX has waypoint scout. I think he might have. He has the waypoint there. He's not guard moded. He is moving his terrorist left and is going to miss the truck that was working on inside of there. War factory and a tunnel going up. Tunnel and supply over there. All pretty standard. Terrorist there gets crushed. I mean, that's the thing about GLA Demolition. You have to physically click to attack it. Otherwise, if it gets run over, that exactly will happen there. It's kind of weird that the game is like that with GLA Demolition. You would expect GLA Demolition terrorists to be the ones that explode, and you would expect tox to ones that get run over normally. But yeah, it actually works the opposite of that. If you run over a tox one, it actually explodes. It's kind of weird, to be honest. Okay, so same truck crush on this left-hand side. There's only 2 workers there anyway, and 1 has died. But the truck not being controlled super well. It did pause for a bit and has died without killing anything else. There is a flamer now here. Technical again. Don't tell me he's gone Marauders again. I think he has gone Marauders, you know, because he's not got the technical veterancy, which means this technical will go down a lot quicker without the... you see, just from 1 hit there, look at that. Like, with the veterancy, you've got a higher chance of getting a super tech. Yeah, I don't know. Marauders can be kind of good here, I suppose. But if you just get a couple of Battle Masters, you quickly do overwhelm them because, yeah, like the top players are going to be good at scrap denying, so generally you're not going to get a scrap 2 double-ended Marauder. We have got a scrapped up level 1 technical here. You see, if that just killed 1 truck by itself, it would be Vet 2 if it had got the Vet 1 as standard, but yeah. Even if he kills this now, you'll get Vet 1 and it won't auto-heal. The auto-healing function is super important. Otherwise, you have to go back inside of the tunnel. But yeah, I suppose MrX is doing pretty well here. He is holding in the middle with the 2 Marauders. There's a Battle Master on this left-hand side. Getting the worker line there. Technical area is going to be chased away. Supplies on fire, damaged, but... that's it. Is MrX going to go for the Dozer Hunt? Has he killed... oh, he's actually gone back here now. Yeah, Moliere seems a little bit overwhelmed by MrX. MrX has won the battle in the middle of both games. Moliere losing this. Ooh. Speaking of double enders, he has got one. He's got a Vet 2 now. That becomes so hard to kill. Okay, technical has gone down. Trucks here going down. I think this is Moliere dead in game number 2. His Dozer could get hunted here, or the War Factory could just go down. Doesn't really matter what MrX does now. Like, that's the benefit of the Marauder. I suppose if you can get it up to Vet 3 with 2 guns, then yeah, it becomes super powerful. It's one of the most powerful units in the game. But generally, like the high level players will always scrap deny you, or just not lose units to the Marauder. It's just absolutely crazy, that unit. Yeah, in my view, it's too weak before the scrap, and it's too strong after the scrap and the vet. So it needs kind of counterbalancing, in my view, the Marauders. Looks like a few more workers here will get gunned down. MrX is going for a 3rd supply, which I like. Supply here is going to go down. There's a outpost on the way, but what is an outpost really going to do? Those are here. I mean, MrX has just won every engagement everywhere. Lost a few workers here, okay. Oh, there is a Helix out now. That could actually screw with him a little bit. MrX now should be thinking about drop down a Stinger and get a quad out. Oh, he has quads already. He's thought ahead. Didn't even realize that, but yeah, this Helix is screwed. I think Moliere's just given up. You can't. What's he doing? I think he's just given up. Yeah, 2-0 for MrX. Very, very well played. Moliere just, yeah, nice try, but lost control of the middle both times. And then it just ended from there, really. So yeah, 2-0. Okay, jumping into the next game, we have Moliere now down in the south with the GLA Stealth in the blue. Up in the north, we've got MrX with the China Vanilla in the yellow. So China Vanilla versus Stealth. So yeah, if there's a matchup to get yourself on the scoreboard at least, this is definitely the one. Moliere with the Stealth on Summer Arena. You would say this favors the GLA because of like how wide it is, all these buildings. You're imagining loads of tunnels here, whereas China kind of has to like bunker off the sides. That's China's traditional style is to kind of bunker off the sides and take the fight in one area. So you want to fight like probably in the middle, or maybe you want to bunker off the middle and then go and fight on the right, something like that. Whereas the GLA can just have its tunnels everywhere and take a fight absolutely anywhere. It can be attacking over here. Okay, that's not working. And you might want to pop units over here, attack over here. Okay, that's not working. Now we'll go through the middle. So many opportunities for the GLA. Moliere has not dropped down a tunnel in his base. I think that's a bit of a risk because, oh yeah, this is why, man. I was literally about to say a helix or an all-in rush with 2 helixes, as you've seen a few times on this channel now. Yeah, if you don't have a tunnel there, you're at a much higher risk of losing to this. Now, this is the important part. Moliere's now going to see the airfield. Now he can see the edge of the airfield, so he knows there's a helix. He is making quads, but the fact that there's no tunnel here, yeah, I don't understand why you'd skip that. He has got 2 quads out, but the thing is, if these helixes now need to go straight across the map, straight to the arms dealer. This is your only chance to probably win the game. Otherwise, it's highly likely that you have lost. He needs to go straight across the map. He doesn't know that there's no tunnel in the main base, though. And one of these should have a Gatling cannon, and the other one should have a bunker. Is that one going to have... Yeah, it does have a Gatling cannon. So MrX has got the recipe to win here. He just needs to focus down these quads. The weak one is being focused down. He's not focusing the quad as fast as he should. But the War Factory is on top of now. This is why you have a tunnel in your base. You've got them few RPGs that would be inside of these tunnels. Yeah, it would be inside of these buildings, whatever. You can put them all in and back this up. Now he's having to make single RPGs from the barracks. MrX should close that down. The oil capture is coming in. This is why you should never skimp out on a tunnel by your War Factory. I mean, there's certain situations you might want to do it, maybe in the GLA mirror. Sometimes you can do it if you're doing a fast oil grab or something like that. But yeah, against the China like this, there's no point taking a risk and going for a big eco beam. Eco beams are more of a risk. Why do you do that and skip the tunnel in your main base? But yeah, nice rush here from MrX. He does need to think about evac in this helix soon, though. He really does. Oh, baby. That is looking close. Nah, it's dead. Now, MrX has got a choice. Does he expand to another supply here, which he has done? Or does he make it? He could have made another helix, sent it to pick up this, and carried on the onslaught. I mean, obviously we can see the map and it's all right as the observer. No pressure on us. MrX is obviously the guy under pressure. Would another helix there have been a better decision than making this War Factory right now? Probably would, to be honest. Probably would. Because you would have picked up the 5 tank hunters and you would be flying around now. You'd be on top of this area. You'd be killing probably all those. Yeah, probably would have, and then you could make a War Factory. But yeah, MrX is now going to find out that actually you can't place a supply here because Moliere's already taken it. I think even with that decent helix rush, I think because of the eco boom, I think Moliere's probably still won because yeah, his economy's far ahead. MrX has got a decent amount of XP though. Look at that, 10,000 and sorry, what's 10,000? 1,060. He's crushing a load of workers here. There is a worker building a tunnel. Flame is down in the middle. You need to stop that, man. You need to stop that. Oh, man. Giving him the extra 1,000 there. He's going to flame it down pretty much straight away, but he's still got the extra 1,000 boost. Oil gun down. Tunnel there going to go down. There's not that many quads out, but it's this amount of oils. The oils need to go down fast. So, like, A flamer needs to go over here and just check, has he got it or not? It's going to push here now, but yeah, with a few quads there, I think they'll be able to hold. They flames down that. Flaming down this. Got flamers here on the left. Another helix. There is still a worker there, so got to be careful of that. Yeah, the problem is as soon as these quads start to get out in numbers, these flamers are suddenly a lot harder to push with. It's not always doing the flame wall as well. These always need to be doing the flame wall. Okay, Helix pretty much then to its death. Flame walls here. On this left side, trying to push Moliere back. We've got a rebel in the base, just providing a bit of a scout. Unit has gone down there. That worker's still there. Everything has been held so far by Moliere, to be fair, despite losing his main base early on. MrX is now level 3, so yeah, if he gets CC, carpet and artillery here could just wipe out Moliere on this whole left section for sure. I think using the carpet first, so that not to give away that he is level 3. Could be actually pretty decent on this army. It's quite a lot of RPGs here. And Moliere is running his army into the flamers. Oh man, that's painful. So yeah, I mean, if MrX can just clear out this right side and start expanding a bit, I think it's actually quite even. MrX is actually getting his CC captured, and there is a technical here. Could he hunt him here? Carpet coming now. Artillery coming as well, though. So are these units now going to go inside the tunnel? Because they're scared of a carpet. Carpet coming. It's going to kill a load of workers and maybe damage a few tunnels. Don't think it'll kill the tunnels, though. Artillery going to kill a few workers there as well. And cancelled the palace. But yeah, he didn't actually get the money back, so that definitely cancelled it by force there. And MrX quits, actually. Oh, maybe this sneaky tunnel here. I think it just shows you there how strong stealth is. Despite that all-in rush working kind of okay, I think it could have worked a little bit better if MrX had focused down the units that were damaging his helix a little bit sooner. Sometimes he was taking a few shots before he actually engaged, like the RPGs and the quads and stuff, so it could have worked better. He could have followed it up with even a third helix before making that war factory. But I mean, either way, even if you try to play a normal game, it's kind of hard to try vanilla versus stealth, so... Yeah, nice game, nice hold, and nice recovery there from Moliere. Yeah, very well played. Twice the money collected. Look at that, crazy. Okay, jumping into the reverse, we now have Moliere up in the north with China Vanilla in the blue. Down in the south, we have MrX with the GLA Stealth in the yellow. Yeah, I always wonder sometimes on these maps because it's so quiet for me. I don't have the 0 hour music playing actually myself here. I overlay that later on during the video. But because there's no like ambient sounds on some of these maps, sometimes I wonder is my sound on or not. But then I hear the dozers moving and then I'm like, yeah, okay, it's on. But a lot of the official maps, they have like more ambience and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, cows making noises or whatever. And then you know the game is actually working. But yeah, sometimes I get a bit confused. Anyway, yeah, so China against stealth, the reverse. Is MrX going to be able to pull off the win here and convert this to a 3-1? You would imagine so with a GLA Stealth. We're seeing a different strat here from Moliere. He's gone for a middle supply. Actually, it looks like a perfect supply placement, so I don't even know how he's done that. He's gone for a war factory barracks in the middle, and he's gone for a supply over here on the right-hand side. So yeah, 2 supplies, war factory barracks, garrison some of these middle buildings. I actually think that's an okay position, actually, because he's managed to grab hold of both of these buildings. Okay, this one here is probably going to die just to the tunnel. There's nothing there repairing it. But there is going to be some attack on the left-hand side here from MrX, which is a tech RPG. And this dozer here building a bunker as a tank hunter heading over in that general direction. But the dozer is going to finish the bunker, which does provide a little bit of cover here. Okay, the tank hunter there is going to go down. Dozer has gone down. Technical is avoiding the area where the mines could be. But now he's going to get engaged by a Gat and chased away. Oh, he could just get hunted outright here. Yeah, well, I mean, I want to see players playing 100%. The ruthless thing to do here is to just hunt the dozer. So, yeah, straight away here, the China has been hunted. Don't see anything wrong with that. It's part of the game, although it is frustrating if you are trying to another player to do this. So, yeah, the problem is that whilst he's got control of the mid, then you allow the GLAs to get control of the flanks. Then he pulls from left to right, from left to right. One truck there has already gone down. And he's only on one war factory and, yeah, 2 barracks. This tunnel going up here, it's kind of a problem, to say the least. Makes you think, actually, in the beginning, maybe a couple of red guards to occupy these buildings faster. And then a couple of red guards to actually go to the sides and actually, rather than capture the oil, just deny the workers early. Look at these tank hunters here. They're going to head straight into a tunnel. Going to be a little bit of a waste. He is lined up to get the oils, though. 2 oils, maybe even this one. Yeah, he's got some problems here on the right side because MrX is not wanting to hang around. Wants to apply the pressure now. He does realize, don't have control of the middle. I want to try and engage on the sides. A few tank hunters here as well as a GAT. Are they going to be able to break through this tunnel? It's going to be close, actually. Would be nice to pick off the worker at least. Yeah, without that GAT picking off the worker, these tank hunters here have got no chance. This is already over, I think, because that engagement's won there. This engagement's one here, which means he's only on 2 supplies now, one of which is the middle one. It's got capture going in there, capture here. Power here is going to go down. I mean, a China vanilla on 1 war factory of low power. It's really an impossible win, I think. Gats here just going to keep running into this tunnel, but it just keeps getting repaired, so you're just fighting a losing battle here, I think. Power has not gone down. There were mines there as well, which all get detonated with the explosions. That's another waste there of $600. And this barracks here going to go down too. All these tank hunters are all quite expensive. MrX is on 4k. MrX didn't even need to do anything. It just shows you how good stealth is, because like he's just in war factory barracks, a couple of supplies, and then a load of tunnels and quads. That is it. Tunnels and quads is like you can win probably against 99% of players, unless you're playing the super top guys. And just with quads and tunnels, just combine the quads with the free RPGs you get from the tunnels. Just absolutely crazy how overpowered stealth is compared to China Vanilla, for example. So yeah, 3-1 is the score. Okay, so welcome to Arctic Lagoon. We have Moliere up in the north with the blue super weapon general. Down in the south, we've got MrX with the China Nuke in the yellow. So yeah, interesting one. While super weapon isn't the strongest USA because of the expensive Vs, USA generally has a good time against Nuke because you make the Vs and you can kill the battle masters, you can kill GATs, all that kind of stuff easy. But yeah, at the same time they are expensive Vs and sometimes you can get overwhelmed. Yeah, we're going to see a no eco here from Moliere. Looks like we are. Going to be a no eco. He's not bothered about making the 2 supplies, dropping down EMP, stuff like that. Got a few missile defenders queued up to the middle, but now he's stopped the production for some reason, so maybe it's not going to be a no eco. A bit weird. I don't understand why you'd cut the production off there. I really don't. Wolf actually trying to be built here, but the dozer got a little bit stuck, and that's going to be a little bit slowed. This missile defender here is going to try to hit this, and that's actually going to get it. So MrX's doze there is going to get denied. So that's his rush completely screwed, really. He's actually sending his other dozer over there to try and finish this. And then it is going to be a troop crawler combined with an RPG rush. This is kind of like the Facey build order we saw against Anti-Pro. You know, where he didn't really know what to do against the troop crawler rush? It's kind of like it, but the 5 ace is going to get up, and he has managed to delay it significantly because the dozer got picked off. MrX hanging around with units once again here, and that war factory is not even getting finished. Oh, man. So yeah, that troop crawler there is going to be very, very slow. And this V around the back is either going to cut off his economy or hunt this dozer, or both. It could literally get both. We've got a dozer down this right-hand side, just in case the base trade does come in. So yeah, the question is, what is Moliere going to do here? Is he going to go for...
Our base is under attack.
It looks like he's going to go to defend it. He's not going to go for the base trade. I think going for the base trade is the best thing to do because you've got the mobility with the Vs. But yeah, he seems to want to just kind of try to hold this. He has killed some trucks there, and this dozer's getting hunted now. So it is all down to this push here of MrX. Only a few units out. There's another barracks being built now. This fire base is looking for sure like it will go down. And yeah, Moliere just needs to hold, I suppose. MrX is on no trucks, no money. His buildings here could go down. Interesting scenario, but there's another building being dropped down here, which is why I think you should just not hang around here trying to fight that. There's no need. Just go and kill his buildings, because you've got the mobility. The USA Does is faster. They can turn faster. You've got the Nukes. You can drop them. You generally have bigger vision because you've probably got a drone, and the bigger vision of the Nukes, you can drop down scaffolds in places. So yeah, going for the base trade I think is worth it. MrX is in a difficult situation now because I'm pretty sure that this war factory and these two buildings are going to go down before that barracks and this barracks. Moliere even has more money, so he's even dropping down another barracks. So yeah, the problem with MrX's army now is it's so slow. By the time he gets here to kill this and this, his two buildings there are going to be killed. So a little bit of hesitation there in the beginning from Moliere. He didn't really know if he was going to stay and fight it or if he was going to bail or what. In the end, he decided to bail. Was it worth making the fire base is the question. Did it really achieve anything? I don't know, but ultimately Moliere gets the win. And yeah, 3-2. Very, very quick game, actually. Okay, jump into the next game. We have now Moliere playing with the China Nuke down in the south. Up in the north, we've got MrX with the Super Weapon General in the yellow. Are we going to see a normal game played out here? Or are we going to see another kind of no eco? I mean, a no eco traditionally is 2 full Vs, 1 ambulance, 1 supply, and either your 1 supply can have 1 Chinook on it or 2 Chinooks. As long as you get the 2 full Vs and an ambulance out, those 3 units are classed as a no eco. That's basically what it means. But the no eco means no economy. You haven't got much of an economy going. So yeah, a lot of people don't even bother making the second Chinook. They literally pour everything into the first few units and try to close it out. MrX also looking like he's heading towards a no eco. Got Moliere going for War Factory Barracks, trying to play this more normal. First V is out, but hanging around.
How about a lift?
Yeah, a lot of the top players now, if they're doing a no eco, you're seeing the first V go out by itself to try and kill one dozer, maybe kill a couple of trucks, and then it is joined up later by the second V and then the ambulance. So the barracks at the front here is going to go down, and this outpost here is going to get popped open. A little bit of damage into these Vs so far, but nothing to worry about. They are going to heal, of course, because they've got the ambulance. There's the battle master out. Couple of tank hunters, although they do all need to be rallied now to fight this at the same time. No point hanging around, I don't think. Power plant here is looking like it will go down. Yeah, it's so close. Okay, goes down. A little bit of damage into the battle master there as well. But there are 2 battle masters, and 1 goes down. I think if the Vs take 2 shots, I'm sure they start moving slowly. You need to be careful here against the blob of tank hunters because they can quickly chip away at the HP. MrX behind us got $1,800. He's not made anything yet. I think at least queuing up a V or something behind it is worth it. Certainly not floating 2,400 is the best. He could be dropping down another supply or an EMP or something. But yeah, this supply looking like it's going to go down. There's a gap pushing on this left-hand side. There's a lot of tank hunters out, but they're quite spread out. So the Vs can go in and just intercept 1 or 2. Kill them and then go back and heal, something like that. This barracks here is now going to go down. Where is that Gat? Gat is over here. These tank hunters are slowly getting picked off. Truck here taking some damage. That supply is obviously dead, not being rebuilt. Troop crawler straight down the mid. MrX is now making units. And these Vs, everything they kill, they're becoming more and more powerful. You see, that's already vet 1. The units inside will no doubt be vetted as well. Truck here being used to chase them away just in case they cause any splash damage. but Moliere is getting torn apart here. MrX not controlling these extra units in his base. So they do go down with relative ease there from Moliere. I think MrX is wholly focused on these. And yeah, MrX is going to run away with his dozer now. He has another dozer over here, though. Chinook just being brought in, probably just for vision, but it did cause a lot of damage to that Chinook there. Did you see that when the Battle Master exploded? Power plant now being picked off. Moliere doesn't have any cash, so he can't drop down any more buildings. So if he loses these two, that is it. The V's literally just need to clear this up. War factory going down, then he just needs to basically one-tap this power plant. But War factory, would be very close to go down. War factory does go down. Power plant and $250 and a dream for Moliere. Okay, evac for the missile defenders. Okay, ambulance taking a bit of damage. He just needs to go in, really. He could just go in with the missile defenders, but he doesn't know probably that's definitely the last building, I don't think. MrX has another building over here, so it's just literally killing that power plant. That's all it is. Ambulance just go down. Dozer goes down. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because that power's about to go down. That's it. It's going to go 2-3-3. So yeah, GG. Well played. Oh, no, sorry, not 3-3. What am I talking about? I did that thing again where I'm messing up the score. 4-2 is the score. Okay, jumping into the next match. Now we're on Snowy Drought. By the looks of things, we have Moliere down in the south with the GLA Tox in the blue. Up in the north, we've got GLA Stealth for MrX in the yellow. So first GLA mirror of this set between these two players. We're on a map where, yeah, typically games can go long, can also go quick if you get a decent TNT off as either player. It can end very quick, but generally both players here should be able to get to 3 supplies, especially if people do a 3 supply build order, which actually what it looks like here from Moliere. He's actually done 2 fake barracks over here to stop any technicals getting in. Got a real barracks here, fake arms dealer. Tunnel going up here, and also an aggressive tunnel here from MrX. This is something I noticed about MrX actually, because typically he always plays 2v2s with Mr. DK Crazy. And on Fallen Empire, which is like their go-to map, you'll always do that aggressive tunnel on the unsafe supply. It just reminds me of that. Like if you watch him a couple of times, he does that pretty much every Fallen Empire game, and it's kind of the same here, isn't it? It's done the same here. I wonder if those 2 tunnels will be able to engage each other. Looks like they can, and interestingly, this is where the actual standard tunnel should be able to beat the toxin tunnel, because the machine gun does more damage to buildings than the toxin thing. The toxin does very little damage to buildings. Interestingly here, MrX is really changing up. He's actually gone for toxin tractor as his first unit. Did not expect that, but that's a really legendary player. I really like that. And yeah, he's killing some workers here. He's stopped this other tunnel from going up. Worker gone down there. This tunnel's now been cancelled, and it looks like this one. This is like a really decent play here from MrX. I really like it. I suppose, could you say it's a little bit lucky, though, that the supply could be a little bit more right, couldn't it? And the tunnel could be here, and then they wouldn't be fighting. But yeah, I mean, if he takes down that tunnel, then all of a sudden, yeah, MrX actually, he's got quads here as well. I really like this. There is a technical pushing on the left-hand side for Moliere. Going to probably kill a few workers here. But a quad RPG army there from MrX does shut it down. So, I mean, yeah, this supply has been cancelled now. Like, probably first time I've seen that in a while, actually. A stealth pushing this supply like that. Toxin Tractor is like the first unit. It's got a nice box going on here. I think that will let an enemy technical through, though. And then behind this is getting the oil. This is what I mean. MrX is looking real strong here. I think this is the most impressive opening I've seen from him this set so far. Toxin Tractor here is going to clear that out. Got a technical again down the left-hand side. Is MrX going to realize this is here, or is that technical going to be able to kill a load of workers? MrX has expanded to a third supply and getting his oil. I mean, this is this... dare I say it, almost perfection here for MrX. Really, really decent. I suppose you could say letting in that technical there. It's probably not quite perfect. He is making a palace, though. Could make a few more workers there, but ultimately the build order and the execution here is very, very decent, and like not a lot of people will make that toxin tractor as the first unit and ship that supply down. That's really decent. So yeah, I think the thing for MrX now is, whilst he's in a good position, needs to capitalize on that, so doesn't want to give up all of his map control, because he has no tunnels here at the left hand side. He has no vision here, so really if Mr. Moliere, keep saying Mr. now because he's got MrX. If Moliere wanted to, if he could have an aggressive tunnel pretty much anywhere here right now, because MrX doesn't have vision of all this darkness here. So we've got a technical here for Moliere. Again on this left-hand side, and there's no coverage here. So yeah, I'm just missing from MrX. The follow-up should be more tunnels spread around the middle, like creeping forward in the mid, like tunnels on the left. And he's let another technical here in the left. Okay, he saved a few workers, but it's still harassing him. And he's dropped a stinger down here right now. It's 3.1k, so I don't understand why you wouldn't just drop down a few more tunnels, but either way, he's in a good position. There are 2 arms dealers here for Moliere now, so you should be able to push this back eventually. Even another stinger going up there for MrX. I do like mixing in the stingers, especially against, well, in this matchup, stealth against Tox. But the problem is he's going all the way around now, and is MrX even going to realize this is here? Because this is where he doesn't have the vision. Now, like a big part of RTS, you could say probably one of the most important parts is scouting and being able to see. Because, yeah, you have a much easier job fighting what you can see rather than what you can't see. If you know something's coming, you can prepare better for it. Now, is he going to be prepared for this massive Scorpion army straight down the middle of the map? This is the first that he's going to see of it. So yeah, you would imagine at least this area here is going to fall. MrX dropping down his first market. Palace. Not sure how many units are inside that palace. Only 1 at the moment. It might put a few more inside of it. It's getting a battle bus. And this supply here is going to fall. MrX is now making another supply over here. So yeah, Moliere probably recognized there's stingers going up here. I just thought, you know what, screw that. I won't engage with the... with the stingers, I'll just go all the way around it. So yeah, fair enough. He's done exactly that. I think Jean Mankel inside that palace is a really nice idea as well, because it stops all these RPGs doing anything. There's still a lot of Scorpions though, so it could overwhelm. He could push over here. He probably still could clear this bit. Moliere still spamming on the 2 arms dealers. Not spending all of his cash, just 2.4k. He's got his refinery, got his oil. A lot of RPGs there wasted. The quads here won't really do much against this army. So yeah, Moliere's got a decent army. This is why Tox is generally preferred, because your tanks are really strong and the stealth doesn't have any tanks at all. You've got to rely on battle buses and buggies. 1 battle bus there does go down. There is a hijacker out. Oh, almost dead though. I think it's to the toxin radiation there. Yeah, I mean, taking out Vet 2 Scorpion probably wouldn't be a bad idea. There's a few buggies out now as well. Maybe realizing the battle bus is not quite working out, but he is sending his valuable units to the front sometimes. Like the buggy there, the battle bus that went down over there. There's a few sniped units here. MrX now on his first market. Would like to see him get workers' shoes. And yeah, Moliere, despite his bad start, really, is just making the Scorpion tank push work. And I mean, if you just look at the map now, look at the amount of blue. Look at the amount of control Moliere has. This looks really, really good for him, I would say. Moliere's just shooting his own tank there. Well, it was sniped. He's just shooting it anyway, but yeah, maybe you could have retaken that. I don't know. Got your own Jarman there and guard mode, retake it. When the Jarman tries to shoot, then you can snipe it with your own Jarman. These buggies have been a little bit of a pest here. I think one Scorpion at least will fall. He does have the repair bay here in the middle, so his Scorpion tanks will get like basically the free junk repair. Technical here. Is that going to be a TNT? Maybe a little bit bad timing because there are two buggies right there. So that TNT, yeah, is going to get stopped. Not going to achieve anything. There is a Jarman there to help clear that up. Moliere seemingly wants to engage this area, but I mean, if he's just going to go in range and then not actually attack it, then yeah, he is going to lose tanks. He's lost like 2 tanks to the bunker, and then he's lost 1 to the Jarman, so that's not very good, to be honest. There's even more RPGs going inside of that now. He's got a few more, MrX. But yeah, Moliere's economy now is like a lot higher because he's even collecting off this one. And he's got this one. He's got the free junk repair. He's got equivalent number of markets now to MrX. MrX is floating like 5k. I would definitely like to see from MrX another arms dealer and more buggies. Reclaim some of this map control, so then you can make use of these supplies rather than the enemy collecting from them. I think that is money better spent rather than more black markets at this point. Hijacker there does go down. CC now being built by MrX. Another market. Yeah, this Jean Miguel has definitely been getting his money's worth because he sniped so many tanks already. Even that, if you just include the 3 tanks that I've counted, but then there's also a buggy here. There's probably more tanks than the RPGs that he's killed as well. So yeah, Jean Miguel definitely a unit worth making, 100%. MrX doing pretty well here with the stealth. He's got a nice mix. He's got a battle bus again. He's got a few buggies, and he is clearing this supply. So if the game does kind of stabilize and he is ahead in the market, stealth can actually do very well. Another buggy trade-off here. MrX lost 1 buggy. Is he going to lose another one? MrX also losing his supply here to a counter-attack, so it's not something you want to do really. You want to be maintaining this. MrX is doing something here that I've seen him do a hell of a lot, and that's floating. I've seen him floating in games, 2v2 games, especially in tournaments and stuff. Floating 10k when it's not a for sure win is definitely a mistake. More markets, an extra supply, more tunnels, more units, a second arms dealer, all that kind of stuff is needed, not floating 11k for sure. That said, though, Moliere isn't keeping the pressure up as much as he was before. He is investing in some markets. He's got his own Scud Storm soon to be ready. Worker Shoes in play there. Worker Shoes in play there. Finally, a second arms dealer. Problem is here, though, if a Scud hits there, it's going to cut off the production and kill the palace. That's the problem with having it all together. I want to think about spacing it out a little bit. Buggy here is going to take down this tunnel. Another market for Moliere again. Got to remember, he's been collecting on this supply for a while now. He's also almost mining it out, whereas all these crates here, which are supposed to be MrX's, are pretty still much full, apart from like that one there, of course. Jarman versus Jarman, who is going to come out on top here. Ooh, MrX not paying attention, does lose his Jarman to the radar van, and ooh, a couple more buggies here. GPS scramble there for MrX. Makes his units harder to kill if they're invisible, of course. Battle bus there is going to go down. You can see MrX getting the bounty money as well. This tunnel here at the front is going to go down. Technical pushing in from the right hand side, but once again this is going to be a complete failure. I don't know why it stopped there. I think he was a bit hesitant, like, oh, I'm going to lose. Well, what you can do sometimes is send in 2 technicals. The first one will tank all the damage and will eventually die, but the second one then will be able to get in and get to its target. MrX dropping down even another market, and the first Scud Storm is up now for Moliere. Bit of a battle here in the mid. Couple of units going to go down. A few buggies sent to their death, really. Scorpion tank there has gone down. John McHale snipes the bus. Doesn't follow it up with killing the RPGs though. Lets the bus just gather its guys again and go inside. But the bus is going to go down to the buggies anyway. I mean, if you've got the spare cash, and another decent upgrade here would be the buggy... Oh, sorry, the AP rockets. Makes the rockets like 25% stronger. Especially if you're like MrX and you're mainly making these buggies like as your the backbone of your army to hold on against these scorps. Definitely worthwhile. Especially like when he's been floating all this money for all this time. Couple more markets, another market, another market, another market. No scud storm. Oh, yeah, we do have a scud storm, 77%. Ambushes on top of the army, but didn't clear out that bunker, which I would say is a bit of a priority because you could have got inside of that and then pushed this with the scorpions. I think that would have been a decent idea. Another market and another scud storm. Yeah, we're on for a big scud battle here, I think. Yeah, remember Moliere needs to win this one, otherwise he is out. MrX only 1 away from his victory. He just needs 5 wins to go through to round number 2. This tunnel taking a lot of damage, needs to be backed up by another worker and repaired. But yeah, MrX still maintains his foothold over here. I do think taking that bunker down, either with a tech with a rebel inside of it and clearing it, or that rebel ambush before, whatever, I think taking that bunker is vital because then it will clear. Well, if you load it full of RPGs, you'll probably clear both of these tunnels as well for free. Not to mention if you send an army with it as well, you'll probably clear out even more. Battle bus there again, unfortunately for MrX, does get picked off. And actually just goes down. I think there's only 1 RPG inside of that. It just goes down without even evacing any stuff. So yeah, probably an empty bus. Bit of a mistake there, I would say. Supply there does need selling. You can put some extra workers here. But MrX is clearing out this right-hand side. He's got a scud out on the field now, but it's like 2 minutes behind, or just short of 2 minutes behind. Even more markets. This scud's almost finished. More markets, more tunnels. Interesting position for that tunnel. The losses on both sides here. Moliere isn't collecting from this for the time being, but MrX has also lost almost all of his units. Only 2 buggies escape on very low HP. Moliere still has nice map control. I mean, no one has contested this left-hand side throughout the whole game. I don't remember seeing any units or any tunnels here. It's a little bit weird, because like you could clear out that with the rebel, a tech rebel as well, and then you could push here. There's not many tunnels here from MrX. So yeah, it's a little bit open. Speaking of markets, though, there is quite a lot of markets. Best is going to fire in 114, and MrX is trying to push back this tunnel creep forward from Moliere here in the middle. MrX still no AP rockets. Moliere is spending all of his cash. Does he have their AP rockets as well? No, he doesn't have the AP rockets. Just has a buggy ammo, and that is it. Yeah, MrX leading the way in terms of XP, indicating he has killed more, or at least more valuable stuff at least. Every time you kill a tunnel light, you get 100 XP. Okay, and we have one Scud Storm finally ready. I think it is this one, so we will go from the bird's eye view so we can actually see where it is going. It's heading over here, as you would pretty much expect. And, oh, actually, yeah, it's going on the oil. Interesting. So, yeah, I think that's a really strong hit as well. I think hitting either that palace and screwing the production, screwing the tech, is good, but also hitting the oil is good as well, because it's worth 1.6 markets. Can't be rebuilt. John McKell there does get killed, and also this bunker here has been cleared now as well. Another arms dealer now from MrX. This one is in a decent position, so yeah, like in the Scud War, if one does hit there later on, you can still produce at least some units from this arms dealer over here. Got 2 Scuds for each player now. MrX has units, doesn't he? Oh no, he's over here. That's why he's attacking over here. Yeah, a few times I've seen this MrX. He keeps sending his buggies to the front of the battle against tanks. Like, buggies have a far better range against tanks. I don't know why you would... Oh, where's this coming? I don't know why you would send them so close to within range. Where is that going? Is that going... Oh, it's actually going here. Interesting position. I suppose Moliere now won't be able to collect from there. But was he able to collect anything anyway? He's only $225. So what have you really done to him there? Was the oil not a better target? I would say probably yeah. I mean, yeah, as far as where the... Imagine you were the Tox, as far as where the Scud could have hit. I'm actually quite happy to take a hit there, to be honest. Where I don't want to take a hit is on top of that palace. It screws with the production. Does damage to the arms dealer. I might even take down that arms dealer. And on that oil. Maybe on the oil and refinery. I don't know if you can get a double hit or whatever. But yeah, I think what MrX is going for, which I've done a few times before in the past myself, is when you want to clear some land, you want to be able to push in and close the game out with units. That's probably what MrX is going for. MrX is stealth in his super weapons, so he has 2 stealth Scuds, and there are no beacons here from Moliere. I think that will come back to bite him when he goes to shoot the Scuds later on and he actually can't find them. That's going to cause him some problems. So yeah, MrX is doing exactly that. He keeps forcing the issue over here. Ooh, that could be a nice Anthrax bomb. Kills 1 buggy only and a worker. Now he'll pop a Scorpion out and force fire the ground using the control key. And what that then does is clears up the toxin radiation, because the game can't handle like 2 lots of radiation in the same place. So yeah, it is technically a bug, but it's commonly used strat to clear the stuff. He's actually selected rebels rather than a higher level of bounty, but he did clear some RPGs there, so it has worked a little bit. John McKell snipes a tank. There is another tank coming though. A few of these rebels are going to get run over, at least one of them. Another buggy goes down. MrX again floating almost 10k. I think he struggles with his macros, struggles with spamming the units. There is another Scud now for Moliere, and that is going to go... Imagine the palace. It's actually hitting here. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I mean, yeah, there's more benefit here. You're going to stop him collecting, but... I don't know, maybe... Does he not know where the palace is? I think he does know where the palace is. If you hit the palace, it stops him making more markets for the time being. It stops him making more Scuds. It stops him making any buggies, and he's been quite wasteful with the buggies so far. Oh, here comes an Anthrax bomb, and that is going to... Or is it an Anthrax bomb? What the hell? Oh, there's a sneak attack over here. Okay, and the Anthrax is on top of that. Okay, very interesting. Rebel ambush as well, and all of these buggies now. Oh, I don't know how those 3 have escaped. 1 more died. Okay, 2 will escape. All these rebels here will get cleared up by the quad. So yeah, I think he's got the 10% bounty rather than 20%, but instead of the extra 10, from 10 to 20, he selected 4 rebels. Now, those 4 rebels killed a few RPGs and helped the push, but is that really worth the extra 10% of bounty? I would say no. I would definitely say no. We've got another Scud Storm ready to fire, and we finally got him creeping down the left-hand side. It's the actually original Scud Storm is now ready to fire again. Now, where is that bad boy going to shoot? Okay, that's a very juicy hit. Indeed, you're going to kill, what, 3 markets minimum? 3 markets and a hold mode that one. I don't know if there was a market there or not, but yeah, he's killed at least 3 and hold mode and another one. Definitely will be taking that. One buggy here does go down. Another push here from MrX on the right hand side. The angry mob gets cleared up. No AK-47s for the angry mob. They're not being treated. He's got to fight with your pitchforks and whatever other guns you've got. Not other guns, because pitchfork is not a gun, but what other weapons you've got. A pistol and a pitchfork. Let's say whatever they've got. When they do throw Molotov cocktails. Yeah, much more powerful. Is it like 100% extra damage with the AK-47? I think it is. I think I heard another scud fire, and I actually missed this one. It's going to be that one, isn't it? Oh, it's actually hit here. Whoa. It's a bit of a beast of a hit. A massive buggy pop over here. MrX continuing the push forward. He got another sneak attack. Again, MrX, just look, he's hanging around with these buggies. Okay, most of them have survived. I have another scud now, and this is again from MrX. Okay, so again, that's on top of the production. So what MrX is going for, killing the production. And therefore win the game here. It doesn't matter how much money Moliere has got right now. What matters is stopping his unit production. I think he probably could have altered the trajectory a little bit and stopped the palace maybe as well. But you've killed the arms dealers. That's really all that matters. There's another market going down here for Moliere. And another one. Surely units. Quite important here, no? We've got a forward arms dealer over here. And some buggies out. Is MrX gonna lose all this land on the left hand side? He is clearing out the right though. I think this is looking very good for MrX. What I would like to see from him is a few workers, well, not only collecting from there because he's not been doing it for ages, but also a few workers coming forward, clearing the land, making tunnels, and then dropping down a few more markets, maybe a scud or another arms dealer or something, just making buildings there. We have another scud now ready to fire, and it's actually this one. Where the hell has that one landed? Oh, it's actually landed here and killed the army. MrX has a Vet 3 quad though, which is taking down the oil, so I'm pretty sure that oil there will go down. But yeah, very, very scrappy fight. Moliere has lost like, what, a third of his base on this right-hand side, but he is pushing on this left-hand side. MrX now is going to have to defend. I think that CC is in a bit of danger. MrX is always floating over 10k. It just baffles me, man. Like, what's wrong with more markets and more arms dealers? If you got all the money for it, I just don't understand why you would just stick on just 2 or 3 arms dealers. It just baffles me a little bit. Yeah, Angry Mob now seemingly has got the AK-47s, but the CC has been saved. A very, very scrappy fight over here. There's like a few tanks, few quads, few buggies, losses on both sides. The buggy there does go down. Yeah, and I think Moliere realized that he couldn't really do much about this right hand side, so he just literally flipped it into an attack on this left hand side. Still making more and more markets. It's 2 scuds for 2 scuds. Anthrax bomb. This one's from actually MrX on top of the army here. But again, this Anthrax here will get cleared up by the Scorpions just force firing the ground. You've got to fire generally quite in the middle. But they're attacking the CC without without clearing it. Actually, it is cleared now. Yeah, I think he's force fired there. We've got another scud now. I'll keep track of where all these are hitting because I missed a few now. So it's going to be there, take down the markets here. So yeah, I think MrX might be... Well, he's always got over 10k, isn't he? But he might be running out of income because he's lost quite a chunk of his markets there. He's got an Anthrax bomb now on top of his base. Stop the CC there from being built. MrX is making quads over here. So yeah, like all this land here could have been covered in more markets and more tunnels to MrX. But yeah, Moliere now pushing on this left side still. He's bringing the radar vans. Does need to be careful because of the radiation here from the Scud. Okay, another Scud ready for MrX is going to fire. Where is that one going to hit? Okay, it's going to hit here. Very juicy hit, and MrX is continuing the aggression, but without any defense whatsoever over here on the left-hand side. This area is going to fall to the angry mobs into these tanks. Radar van's going to highlight everything. If there is any stealth buildings or whatever there. There is another Scud ready now, of course. I think this might be the round one set where the most Scuds have been launched so far. I can't think of any others. That's actually going to hit here. And delay the push even more, but there is already a bunch of tanks here, and these more markets here are going to go down. MrX now only on 4.3k, but I think it's because he's been producing tanks and just not building any more markets. Even when he's losing them, he is building a few more over here now. Okay, top right, but that oil obviously died before. So yeah, both players struggling with the attacks. It's basically. Is it clockwise? Yeah, MrX is moving clockwise. Moliere is moving clockwise. Is it going to end up in a left versus right map? Certainly the way it is shaping up to be. Sneak attack here behind MrX's arm. He's going to distract him, allow this tank to come in and cause some damage, but the tank does get cleared up. And Moliere is going to continue to push into MrX's base. Now, MrX does have a number of tunnels here. Palace is like the backbone of the defense here. CC being built, market being built, but look how forward this tunnel is. It's like right in front of the CC. So it looks like Rebel Ambush has been cleared up. MrX has still got 5 units here, but he is losing one of his arms dealers. Another buggy picked off. Okay, more angry mobs, more scorpions. But yeah, with this in front of the CC, you imagine this area is under threat now too. MrX is now losing his army here to just one RPG here from the back. Yeah, I think Moliere here might have done enough to win. MrX definitely running out of steam, I suppose, definitely with his second arms dealer there going down. Okay, he has still his third over here, so you've got 2 still in total. But yeah, how thin is... Oh, he's still building that CC. He needs to cancel that because he's got this one. He don't need 2 CCs. I mean, Fargo, of course, will tell you otherwise. Fargo like invented the 2 CC strat. But yeah, you would imagine MrX doesn't need that one there. Cancel it, get your 2k back. Okay, MrX clears this tunnel, and this push continues here from Moliere. Relentless with these scorpions and these angry mobs. He's got more arms dealers now mixed into all of his buildings here. And is the palace going to go down here? I mean, the tunnels better work fast to clear these angry mobs, because if the angry mobs do damage to that palace, yeah, they can go down very, very fast. Did we see another Scud there? One Scud has gone down again, because we've now got 2v1 in terms of the Scuds. Actually, yeah, one of the Scuds has actually hit here now, and that's going to now hit the palace. That's really going to screw with MrX, because now he's only going to be able to build quads. Yeah, you need to think about dropping down the palace ASAP, but... Oh, he's actually gone for a counter-attack here with a sneak attack. Rebels... You get cleared up. Who's going for the capture there, it looks like. Yeah, sneak gets cleared. MrX is running out of options, I think. What a beast of a game, regardless of who's going to win. What an absolute beast of a stealth versus Tox. MrX bomb coming in for MrX. Probably going to be on this general area, I think. Yeah, kills a few units. Might kill that one buggy there as well. Buggy does escape. Needs to force fire to ground and clear the toxins again. Okay, it's good storm once again. This one's from MrX on top of Moliere's production and all of his markets. Really, really nice hit. Killed quite a few markets. Hull moded a few other things. Arms did another market there. We have now an Anthrax bomb coming in from Moliere. He's also clearing all this. Pretty much the main part of MrX's base has all been cleared. That's on top of MrX's production. Pretty much his only production. Hull is being rebuilt over here. He does have a few buggies out, so maybe... Oh, that's a really painful ambush because now it's going to force the buggies elsewhere. Are they going to run into the toxin? Oh man, where are they going? Oh man, nah, that's got to be GG. Surely GG, because he can't make any more markets because his palace is still in production. So yeah, these scuds here are falling. Really well played here from Moliere. Looked bad for him in the start, but yeah, quickly came back in the mid game, and then yeah, obviously in the late game he completely dominated there. So yeah, well played. Nice try there from MrX. Winning with stealth is not an easy feat, and yeah, just fell short there, almost getting the victory. So let's jump into the reverse. Okay, so now we have Moliere up in the north with the Gilet Stealth in the blue, and down in the south we've got MrX with the orange Gilet Tox. Now, interestingly, I think in round one, if it goes to a decider, so if Moliere manages to win here with the stealth, which has certainly looked possible to in the previous game, if he does and it goes to 4-4, then it will be another GLA mirror, but it will be a stealth mirror. And I don't know if it's actually on Snowy Drought. Can't actually remember what map it's on, or if one of the players chooses. But yeah, it could well be Snowy Drought. But yeah, all we've got left here is definitely GLA mirrors and a maximum of 2 games. Moliere, again, living on the edge. He needs to win 2 games in a row, and MrX just needs to close it out here. Now, with the GLA Tox, we've already seen 1 victory. Are we going to see another one here? And then MrX will take it. Again, with this aggressive turn on MrX. Yeah, if you're ever playing against him, pro tip, watch out for that aggressive tunnel for sure. And yeah, interestingly, he's always done this, hasn't he? He's done a tunnel there, a tunnel on his main, and then he did a tunnel on his third, and then a more aggressive tunnel, like on the enemy's third. Moliere's gone for a 3 supply build order once again, and the fake barracks thing going on over here as well. Yeah, Moliere taking damage from that building is a problem. Definitely a problem. And he's also losing all his workers here. So yeah, MrX aggression. Oh, MrX is just like relentless with this aggression, isn't he? It's twice we've seen this. He's wanting to clear this 3rd supply, and both times it has succeeded. But this time he's got the stronger army, so you'd imagine he can capitalize on it better than before. So yeah, this is a really strong position. That supply has now been cleared. MrX did this in the previous one. He's preempting an attack here. Oh, he does get it in time. Yeah, he is. Nice. Very nice there from MrX. I like that. Having preemptive units there just in case that technical comes through. Don't know if we saw it or... He probably, yeah, just preempted it. Because look, it came from where MrX doesn't have any vision. So yeah, nice pick off. Nice pick off indeed. Moliere wanted to go for his oil, but there are a lot of quads here for MrX. Interestingly, MrX is making quads as the GLA Tox. You would imagine he'd be making Scorpions soon, because the Scorpions are where you truly shine. The quads are actually $50 more expensive than the stealth. So in a quad versus quad battle, you probably will lose unless your Tox tunnels are coming into play. But yeah, this Tox tunnel here is looking like it might go down here to the RPGs. RPGs seemingly outrange the Tox tunnels. And yeah, a bit of a counterattack. Pretty much the same composition as we saw before from MrX. But MrX has killed the oil layer of Moliere. And MrX wants to get his own oil, but he's stuck behind this barbed wire fence or whatever you want to call it. It's the metal fence. He's going to start getting that oil now. A lot of RPGs could fall there. Why is MrX going back? You could have killed, like, what, 8 RPGs for free there? Don't understand why he went back, because Moliere wasn't even controlling him. Yeah, definitely bad idea to go back there. Oh, here's the toxin tractor over here. It looks like it's come this long distance straight through the middle of the map. And, yeah, it's actually the contaminate thing is not even still there. I think... yeah, maybe the fact that it leaves contamination behind by itself clears its own contaminate pool, maybe? I think it's better to deploy it and then to move it elsewhere. Once it's been in play for a while. Okay, so now we're finally seeing Scorpions. We've got our first one here as well. We've got a few vetted and scrapped quads, so MrX's army definitely looking stronger here. Tunnel going up on the right, another tunnel here from Moliere. Moliere is getting pushed back at the moment. Few units going down from MrX. One is having to go back to heal, it looks like. Never toxin tractor. Very nice indeed. Supply. But Moliere here is making a supply that has been scouted, and there's no defensive tunnels here, so you can't secure this area. So if MrX just pops a few units and kills this, regardless if he's stealthed or not, he knows where it is. He'll just force fire it. So yeah, I think this is a bit of a mistake here from Moliere. Okay, that forward tunnel there does get stopped. The supply is going to go down without even doing anything, really. It's just going to give free XP. Yeah, MrX is now level 3 because of that. MrX now getting the refinery. Another supply over here. MrX is on loads of supplies, like 4 supplies. But yeah, interestingly, no second or third arms dealer. But I suppose he is being getting harassed, so maybe it's just because of that. Okay, game has slowed for a second, but now Moliere wants to come in again. He has got a hijacker here, again with the contaminate over here. So these workers not able to collect some. MrX's economy definitely hurt a little bit. He's upgrading to a palace again rather than second and third arms dealer. Interesting choice. Yeah, I definitely think the second and third arms dealer, maybe even a fourth arms dealer here is better than a palace first, because you've got this refinery. You've got 3 safe supplies as well. But because of that refinery, you've got a 10% discount on vehicles. So yeah, I think spamming a lot of units definitely is worthwhile here on this map. TNT there from Mr. Moliere. I keep saying that because we've got a MrX. But yeah, MrX is going to clear out some of these forward tunnels. MrX is going to lose probably a few more workers to another contaminate here. This is for Scorpions though, and I think that will clear its own contaminate. Yeah, it will. Scorpions and the dead toxin tractor. Oh man, Moliere is determined, isn't he? He is determined with these sneaky supplies. I don't think in my life I've ever seen a supply placed there. Or there. Oh man. The problem is though, even if you stealth that right from the very beginning, the first few workers have to go and collect and then return to the, let's call it a base, the supply, before they get stealth. So like this one isn't stealth now until it actually drops off. But I mean, then it will get stealth, but by then this crate will probably like become a bit low and MrX will think, hang on a minute. Or he would have seen it in the first place. So yeah, I don't know. There's a battle bus, there is a hijacker running around. Big quad pop here, and this battle bus does go down. I think the battle bus is going to go down completely actually. Yeah, it does go down without killing any quads. A few buggies pop right in the face of this army here from MrX. MrX is going to continue the push. This tunnel area here is going to get cleared up, I think. MrX again having a problem with spending his money. He's got like 7k. He's dropping down a market. Got a market over here. Yeah, Moliere continuing the fight back, but it's Moliere. Yeah, he is on. He's of course on a palace. He's got workers' shoes. Got his first market. That oil obviously died. Yeah, MrX is definitely ahead. He's actually got the level 2 ambush. Yeah, he focuses heavy on the ambush and not the bounty, which is interesting. Typically, I always gravitate towards the bounty to get the extra cash. Everything you kill and every fight you take, even if you lose some battles or whatever, as long as you kill a few units, you're getting some money back for it. Right, I suppose Tox Rebel Ambush can pay for itself as well because you kill a load of units. Like, you could completely flip a battle around as well. Yeah, Moliere's got the buggy armor upgrade. This tunnel here is going to fall. Let's get Storm being built now for MrX. Another market. Moliere continuing the fight back, but yeah, definitely behind. He's only got one market against 3. He's an oil behind against 1. MrX is collecting from here and here. So he's like, what, 2 supplies behind? So yeah, definitely an uphill battle, and Moliere living on the edge here, about to probably go out of the World Series. There's a lot of battle buses here as well, but they are being kited, which means that the buggies can go back, do damage, go back, do damage, keep going back. But yeah, these buses have actually pushed in. Tunnels here taking some damage, but this one's going to get right in. But meanwhile, whilst you're doing this as MrX, what you're doing here is just keeping the enemy distracted and busy with this attack. It's going to take a while for Moliere to clear this up. So yeah, MrX wants to be preparing the next wave whilst Moliere is distracted with this. But again, MrX almost floating like 10k, but he is continuing the pressure and he's definitely in a commanding position here. Albus gets sniped, John and Kel go into town, killing all the RPGs. But Moliere's base is pretty much non-existent. Just look at the amount of yellow on the map here. And yeah, it looks like Tox is going to win, I think. Scud Storm has now been established. This push is continuing. Moliere with another pop here, who probably will be able to clear this up. But the problem is, what is he going to do about the follow-up? Because yeah, the economic position that MrX is in, just crazy, crazy high. MrX does lose all of this army, actually. Yeah, every single unit there. Yeah, important to note that actually Moliere lost his refinery as well. So he's not even getting the 10% discount that MrX is getting. So it's, I mean, you could, if you're spamming on like 2 or 3 arms dealers, you could even equivalent, if that's even a word, equivalent. You could say it's even equivalent to an oil. So you could say MrX is even at a bigger advantage. But it definitely is, because 10% reduction on all your vehicles is massive. Yeah, these workers here have been stopped from the collection. $2,700 over there, and then 1 market. So yeah, looking pretty bad. Rebel ambush. 1 buggy gets picked off. Battle bus pushing forward again, but it is getting taken down by these buggies here of Moliere. MrX is continuing the push. MrX decided to try and capture this supply, so he will get stealth as well. But this just gets sold. I think it's better just to kill it anyway, because you want the XP, you want the veterancy on your units. But Moliere is countering with these buggies and taking out everything. This supply definitely will fall. I'd say MrX needs to establish another supply here ASAP. More markets being established by MrX. Got loads of markets here as well. It's looking really grim here for Moliere. CC has been built, so what is he going to get? GPS scramble, maybe a rebel ambush. You probably would be wanting the 20% bounty, which I think he has got, because he's getting $40 for every rebel. So yeah, I think that's 20% anyway. 20% of $200. Yeah, MrX is getting pushed back a bit. Pops a few buggies out here. 1 buggy from Moliere that does go down. I mean, every penny counts now. You want to start selling off these unneeded things. All 3 of them, the fakes and that. Every single penny is going to count now, because he is on the verge of going outside of the World Series, I think. Even you could sell 1 arms dealer if you really needed to. But I think it already is too late, because in a minute he's going to take a scud to the face. It's looking really, really grim and good. Sorry, really, really grim for Moliere and good for MrX. Another forward tunnel here from Moliere, but again, every penny counts, and dropping down another $800 tunnel there. What is that really going to achieve? I don't think it's going to achieve anything. MrX loves chasing these buggies, but every time he's done it, he has come out behind. Another battle bus there falls. But is it just literally a distraction? It should just be a distraction, because you can't, against the top player, you're not gonna close down the buggies. And yeah, that's it. GG. He's already won. But look at the cash from MrX. Like, even though he's got the win here, with floating that much money and not going with the 3 arms dealers and stuff like that, is that World Series winning material? And just being completely honest, no, it's not. It's miles away. So MrX gets through here, 5-3. Yeah, congratulations, go through. But with that constant floating over 10k and the lack of arms dealers and just more markets and like 1 arms dealer for a chunk of time, and on Snowy Drought, it doesn't take a genius to work out every pro game there is making 2 or 3 arms dealers and going into massive spam. You watch Boyka play on that map, who wins a lot of the time as GLA, and he's making loads of arms dealers and he wins a high number of games there. Definitely against an expert level player with that style is honestly going to get 5 or 6-0 MrX's on that map with the GLA not making the arms. It's just the honest truth. Whether I'm being moany or not, it's just the fact. But yeah, maybe MrX will watch this and maybe change it up for the next few rounds. Let's see. But yeah, congratulations. Otherwise, he goes through to round 2. Can't remember off the top of my head who he'll face next, but you can rewind and look at the bracket at the start. But yeah, unlucky to Moliere. Nice try, 5-3, still pretty close, but yeah, sadly didn't do enough here to take down MrX. So GG, well played. See you in the next one.